This is going to be a quick how-to video on how I made those tube baits. So first, you go to Home Depot, get the I get a round steel bar. This one is 1/4 inch by 36 inches long. This will be used for making the roughly 1/4 ounce baits. This is a 3/16 inch diameter plain steel round bar, again 36 inches. I then take those and I cut them down to about 5-inch long rods. Those will be what I use to make the actual baits with. And then inside each of those baits, you'll have I'll have a round jig head or lead head. I'll need some ice water, cooking spray, just for some oil, and then obviously your plastisol plastic with some color. So let's get started. Okay, so we have our melted plastic. Now let's start with the 1/4 inch steel rod. So all you do, it's very simple. Just take your plastic, tilt it on its side, put the steel bar in there, pull it out, let the end drip a bit. I got the fan blowing pretty good, so that's why it's got the little blowing tag in. Then you just kind of rotate it a little while so you don't get that plastic clumping up at the bottom too much. Wait for it to set a little bit. It's a pretty cold day. It's about 60 degrees, so the plastic is hardening rather quickly. Okay, that's all set. Now we grab the 3/16 inch diameter. This will be used for like the 1/8 ounce tube baits. Same process. Stick that in there. Give it a few turns. Get enough plastic on there. Let that run down a little bit. Let that tag drip a bit. Okay, get it up. Let that plastic move around a little bit. Again, making sure not to let it clump at the tip. Alright. Done deal there. Okay, let's go ahead and do the second layer on this first 1/4 inch bar. Same thing. Give it a couple turns. Pull it out. Let that drip a little bit. Okay. Now again, rotate it around a little bit so that way that doesn't clump in the tip. Let that plastic set a little bit. Perfect. Looks great. Alright, go ahead and do the second layer on that 3/16 inch bar. Perfect. Rotate that around so plastic doesn't set too lumpy in one spot. Fantastic. Looking great. And again, I do 3 layers. Some people do 4, some people do more, some people do 2. I like to do 3. It just seems like a perfect thickness for the outer wall of the plastic. And if I did any thicker, these jig head eyelets wouldn't go through the plastic, and we'll show you that in a few moments. So 3 layers for me is just perfect. Alright, let's go ahead and do that third and final layer on both of these baits. Alright, there's your third layer for the 1/4 inch steel bar. Perfect. Let that plastic move around just a little so it doesn't clump again. Okay, let's do the same thing with this 3/16 inch. Last layer for this. Alright. Excellent. So these are done. Now I know that a couple things that I forgot to mention is, or one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning is, a lot of people they'll oil this bar with a with a worm oil or some type of oil to make the plastic slip off much easier. But what I have found when I've tried that is, as more layers of plastic get added on to this, it actually adds weight, and then as you're turning it and adding more layers, it actually started slipping off the rod, and which obviously is not good at all. So I chose not to do not to oil the bar at all, and I haven't had any issues. But what I do after I oil the, after I'm done adding the layers, so what I do afterwards is I'll get my both mine, and I'll stick them in the hot water or cold water, ice cold water, just to start the cooling process and setting process, speed that up a bit. And I'll take off my glove now. And see, those are cool to the touch. And even without the oil, now all you do is kind of move the plastic around a little bit, and it slides right off. Just like that. You have, boom. And I'll let it sit in this cold water for about 5 minutes, let them almost fully cure, get semi-hard, and then we'll come back and put the jig heads on. Okay, so these have soaked in the water for about 5 minutes or so. Now what we're gonna do is go through the process of trimming and putting the jig heads in. Cut the tail like that, put an angle to it. So cut the tails. Excellent, that's done. Now what I do is, a lot of the name brand baits out there, they'll cut a slit to allow that that jig head to slide in there, and so you'll have a slit here allowing for the hook to go in there. I didn't like that because I don't want this to tend to get chewed up and broken and fish bite the tail off real easily. So what I do is, instead of cutting a slit, is I'll take this jig head, match it up to about where it would be in the tube, and then I'm going to take a marker and I'm going to mark on this tail where about that hook's going to come out if that jig head was slit all the way up. So I'll do that with the 1/4, and then with the 1/8, same thing, match it up in here to about where that end's going to be. Okay, and then that tail, that hook's going to come out about right there. Excellent. And now what I'm going to do is I take a blowtorch, get a screwdriver, thin screwdriver, heat it up, just make a small hole right where that marker was on both of these. Just like that. That's all you gotta do. A little more. Alright. Turn off the torch, move that over there. Okay, now here's where the oil comes in. So with the 1/4 ounce, again, take a little spray, put some oil on there. Don't need that much, actually. Get some of it off. Okay, now I get the bigger one. Now all you do is start with the eyelid. Stick that jig head in there. Come on, there we go. Slide that all the way through. Make sure that's straight in there. Perfect. And then just punch that eyelid through. Excellent. There's your 1/4 ounce. Now I'll do the same thing. So I have some oil there. Lubricate that, get some oil on that. Stick that eyelet in first. Come on, there we go. And slide that all the way up to the tip. Make sure this is in there straight. Perfect. And punch that eyelid through. And there you have it. 1/4 ounce, 1/8 ounce red crab, 2 baits with no slit for the hook, those are ready to roll, ready to go catch some fish. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. More awesome videos coming soon. Take care. Thanks for watching.